Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. If you voted for Donald Trump in 2016 but won't in 2020, what changed your mind? 42 years old. I never voted for anybody because I grew up believing it didn't matter who got elected. They were all just different brand names for the same bullshit. I will be voting this time because I see now that it can matter who's in that office. 30 years old and never voted before for the same reasons. I'm ashamed of it. I have already sent my absentee ballot request form. Same, but in Texas. Voted for the first time in 2018 down ballot Democrat. This has just gotten so out of fucking hand. Me in 2016, better than Hillary. Me in 2020, nope. This is me. She scared the living hell out of me. Now I feel as if I owe her an apology. I am far from a Hillary supporter. I didn't like her either, but I saw her as far and away better than Trump. Just as I dislike Biden, more than Hillary even, but he is also the lesser of two evils. What about Hillary scared you? Edit. I can't reply to everyone asking why I dislike Biden, but it's mostly that he's creepy and ignores personal boundaries. His policies are mostly fine. Stuff like this makes him creepy. Edit 2. Also, while I agree on most of the things to dislike about Hillary, I was mostly asking what was scary. I'm learning things that I didn't know before, but I still think she was better than Trump. Perhaps not Biden. Edit. Perhaps Hillary isn't better than Biden, is what I meant. I'm so embarrassed to admit it. Hillary has just always been drilled into my brain as the epitome of limousine liberal establishment candidate, and I was livid with how Bernie got shafted, voted for Bernie in the primary. When election day came, I was coming from work at an auto shop. They were all pumped on Trump and I thought worst case scenario, he fucks up and looks really dumb and hurts the GOP, right? It's not like the people around him would actually let him cause any real harm, right? I was really wrong. Edit. A ton of people are asking, I don't get it. How could you flip from Bernie to Trump? TLDR, I was 24, naive, and more focused on fuck the two-party system than hey let's make this country a good place for everyone to live. I was raised pretty conservative, and Clinton was like a swear word in my house. I was raised Mormon, so sex scandals are just about the worst thing a president could do, back then at least. I left the house in 2010, and was much less exposed to the news at college, BYU. I served a Mormon mission from 2013 to 2015 and missed a lot of the news cycle of Trump during that time too. The only political ideal I really had at the time was fuck the two-party system. I felt like Bernie was a great answer, and would represent the best interests of the people. Hillary was so ingrained in me as evil I couldn't see her in a more realistic light. So, since Bernie was out, and Trump seemed like less of an ingrained in the system candidate, I fell for the last-minute hype and voted for him. I never said it was logical, just that I regretted it, haha. Edit 2. Some people pointed out I didn't answer what changed my mind. I never really liked Trump as a candidate, so it didn't take much to change my mind. Honestly, I think a lot of people that are responding are being disingenuous and think that Trump hasn't done anything wrong. I don't claim to be an expert, but I feel pretty strongly that Trump is objectively a poor leader, and that should be apparent to everyone by now. For one, he has absolutely bungled the COVID crisis, and his desire to downplay it for political gain is gross. There's the one thing. It wasn't the one that changed my mind, it was probably how much he was golfing from the get-go, or me developing a better sense of empathy and leaving a toxic conservative lifestyle behind that did that, but I think it's good enough to change anybody's mind who isn't Trump or die. This is me in a nutshell. Feel like a complete idiot. But Hillary screamed establishment and her campaign felt like a coronation, and the Trump campaign did a good job of feeding off of that. Plus, I thought, there's no way in hell he will win, so my vote really doesn't matter and it's more of a statement against the establishment. This time around, we've all seen Trump's bullshit. Learned my mistake the first time. What does establishment mean in the way that you used it, and why is it bad? I was barely 18 when I voted. I was still a senior in high school. I grew up in an extremely conservative town with opinionated parents and a lack of access to the outside world. I wasn't allowed on any social media. Then I went to college and met people of other races /creeds /sexualities, and I learned empathy. I regret my choice and I know that the Trump administration has caused a lot of pain and suffering for a lot of people. I am trying to do my part by educating myself and calling people out on their bullshit whenever I'm in my hometown. Edit. Thank you everyone so much for the support and the gold. Don't forget to vote. Unfortunately you aren't alone. Many kids are in your situation but end up never leaving. They stay in the same small communities that are shut off from the real world. I see people talking about my hometown Portland like it's some kind of battlefield right now, but really it's super chill and the protests have been super peaceful minus what the police and feds have done. Donald Trump said if he didn't intervene there would be no Portland, and it scares me that people could believe him. The divide in America is mainly between those who live in urban cities and those who live in rural areas. The GOP focuses on wedge social issues because they know that people in rural towns are less likely to have experience with anyone who is different from them. Boost this shit because people need to see that growth is amazing and changing your mind is healthy. Edit. Literally what the hell happened to the reply section on this comment? It spiraled so quick. Similarly though, we should hear out people that voted Democrat in 2016, and won't be doing so in 2020. I don't expect Reddit to welcome that kind of ideological transition, but I think it would be ironic to applaud this particular brand of open-mindedness while ignoring others. Edit. I've literally been banned from r/Askreddit over this thread. What the fuck? Please, go through my comment history and tell me if this was even remotely reasonable. I welcome it. Edit. To those attacking my political views, this wasn't supposed to be political at all. If you could read the comment the mods deleted, it said, and I quote, "I'm not a Republican myself, not by a long shot. I'm not trying to make a political point. I'm just saying that sometimes Reddit doesn't fully acknowledge that open-mindedness is a two-way street." Another edit. Thank you for all that reached out with your support, it really does mean a lot to me. I've reached out to the mods of r/Askreddit though only briefly as it takes a while to go back and forth. They've claimed that my being banned was entirely non-political, and while I'm honestly trying to trust them on that, this all still strikes me as a ridiculous overreaction at best. In other news, it seems that, while I'm still banned, my post that started this has been reapproved, or something. I'm not sure how that works, most likely in a show of good faith that the mods are trying not to stifle politically charged content. That's how I've chosen to interpret it at least. If you're interested in furthering that conversation, I welcome you to do so. Unfortunately I just won't be able to participate. Thank you again though, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside to know just how many good people there are out there in the Reddit community. It's too often that the bad ones hog the spotlight, so thank you all for being so great. Well, I mean, you could make a post like that or something. Just a thought. Edit *u/stop did try and was banned. Come on mods. That's highly uncalled for and just as bad as MAGA people who can't have decent conversation. Way to be civil. His, quite reasonable, response to me that they removed. Sure, I'll do that right now I suppose. I don't expect it to matter though, I would be shocked if it got even half as many votes as this post. Reddit has an undeniably strong left lean. I've seen dozens of Redditors that were Trump supporters but transitioned posts, but never a single one from the opposite perspective. I'm not a Republican myself, not by a long shot. I'm not trying to make a political point. I'm just saying that sometimes Reddit doesn't fully acknowledge that open-mindedness is a two-way street. Edit. Here's the post, https://r/Askreddit.com/comments/i382f4 if anybody's interested. Edit. I'm literally banned from r/Askreddit now. Edit ***. This honestly makes me want to quit Reddit. I miss the old Reddit where you learned the most interesting and random shit ever. Not whatever this has turned into. I'm so disappointed that a real discussion could have taken place and it was essentially censored. How utterly disappointing. Wouldn't it be amazing if changing your position became a sign of an adaptive, reasoning mind, instead of the idea that someone is a flip-flopper? 2016, haha, how bad could he be? 2020, real fucking bad. What's the worst that could happen? Will this really change your life? Will you die? Turns out yes. Holy shit. I can 100% recall myself saying this right after someone told me voting for Jill Stein was a vote for Trump. I was pissed about Bernie and didn't want to vote for Hillary. I was like, whatever, I hope he does win. It'll make people realize he's a moron, and what's the worst that could happen? Back when I thought checks and balances was a real thing. Here we are. Back when I thought checks and balances was a real thing. Here we are. That's what I don't understand at all. He's like Teflon Don, nothing sticks. How is he able to continue day after day being stupid, corrupt and just plain evil, and nothing whatsoever comes of it? Bill Clinton was impeached for a blowjob, and Cheeto Bito does whatever the hell he wants with no consequence.